Power, control, and authority equals peace in men. Men desire power, they desire to have authority, they desire to have control. How does that work? What am I talking about? Let's talk about it. It's now known. It's actually becoming a global phenomenon that men are not engaging as much in relationships. They're not engaging in the act of marriage. A lot more men are not participating in marriage. They're avoiding. They're staying single. They're just doing their jobs and doing their hobbies. You know, the dating scene is something they participate in and out, but a lot of men are not supposedly taking it seriously. Now, what's that got to do with power, authority, and control? Men genuinely like order. That's why the majority of guys who are seen as good guys tend to be quite boring to a lot of women because men will seek to create that routine, the rhythm. You find most guys, especially if you look at tradesmen, he's got his job, he's got his packed lunch. You know, I'm using this example based on men I've observed in my reality. I myself have been a tradesperson. You got your routine of work. You go to work a certain time. You do your task to the best of your ability. You leave work. You come home. You take a shower. You relax. Your pay comes in. When your bills come in, you pay them. You keep it pushing. When there's investment opportunities, you invest. We buy a property. Now, if you look at that dynamic, a man has that rhythm of work as part of his power. What is the power there? We often associate power with people that are elite athletes, because they're able to be in the public, in the public square. They are seen and known, or leaders, or presidents, and so forth. But everyday person, every regular man desires that power, and often is able to create it in his reality. Often that man has, especially a tradesman, he's got a skill set they can rely upon. He's got employment that he's crafted for himself. And then he has, whatever challenges, let's call those bills are the challenges. He pays them off and keeps the rhythm of life. And he's able to enjoy his free time in terms of hobbies. Some guys got ride motorcycles. Some guys go, like to vacation, surfing, whatever it is you're into. But you can see that regularity. He's regulating himself in terms of power, controlling the desires against laziness, going to work, turning up, controlling his desires against reckless spending. Okay, so there's that power and authority over himself. The control brings about that peace. Now, oftentimes, you know, when women look at this situation, they only admire this situation of a man when he's much older, when they're exhausted, when they've been beat, when they've been run through, when they're done being choked. So then they're like, oh, I just want a guy who is just and a good guy. He just got a good job and everything else. But this dynamic is what works for society because you turn up for society and you turn up for yourself and you control your environment. You have authority over yourself and it brings about peace. Oftentimes, women do not like this arrangement because it's too boring, it's too predictable, too basic. They want excitement. A guy who's like, big money, flashlights, until they get exhausted with that, then they seek that. But the point I'm trying to bring home is that every man, from the most basic man, desires that power, control, and authority. So now, back in the day, when you went and when you're seeking a mate, a helpmeet, she came and she was under your control, okay, under your authority. This is the rules of the house. This is my house. We do such and such. It doesn't mean that the woman did not have a voice. It didn't mean that at all. It meant that the man led the way. So there was the control. And ultimately, there was peace in the home. Honey, you can't wear that because we're going in public. It's not going to look good. Yes, honey, because I love you, I'm going to change. She adhered to the man's instructions. The power, the control, the authority. It maintained a certain degree of peace. And when there were children involved, whenever children were misbehaving, the wife would say, "Honey, talk to the children." He exerted his control, his power, and authority over the children, which brought about the peace. Now, women, when they come into a man's life, when a man, through his natural desires to attain a woman, he has that. She does not want to be under his authority or his power or his control. She doesn't mind him exercising his control on himself so he can go to work and turn up to work every day and bring the resources. So, which brings about a certain energy of chaos because it's not in sync. So then that then means that he is no longer at peace. He's laboring, exercising control over himself, turning up to work, but he's no longer enjoying that peace. So the equation is broken. So then the sum doesn't make sense to have the female because if she comes, she's under his authority, he's already got the vision, then there's going to be peace. It's not supposed to be that when you have a woman, it's supposed to be chaotic. Not every woman is chaotic, but we do know the majority of women are dissatisfied with their lives under a man. They want to be under in a relationship with the man as partners. That's the word. That's why the word partner is very common these days. You're not supposed to be a woman, a partner. You're supposed to be a wife. Under the leadership and the guidance, the authority, and the control, which brings about the peace. So you're supposed to be at peace together, working hard. When the challenges arise, when a man was by himself, maybe just a bill here, a bill there, he rose to the occasion. Now, when a woman comes in, she helps him be his peace, and he helps him keep the order of the same power, control, and authority. And the woman, when there's children, she exerts a certain power, control, and authority over the children. But overall, the man is that. But not because women are not bringing that. They bring chaotic energy into the mix. Men are looking at that and says, I don't want that. That's why, if you look, I've seen a lot of Chinese videos. Men be like, I'm just going to go to work and play, when I come back home, I'll play video games. Guys be like, I'm just going to be content because I want peace. So the power, the authority, and control. I cannot exert power. I cannot exert control, authority over you. So therefore, I cannot have you in my word because it's gonna undo the peace which I have. It doesn't make sense for any man to forego the peace that he has created through his discipline, his control over himself. It does not make sense, even though he has a natural desire for a woman. And many men, maybe they've been in a long-term relationship, it broke down, it didn't work, and now he's hurting or he's paying because of his, you could say, lack of better judgment. But he went out seeking that which, seeking the opposite sex for a companionship, and then it went against him. And on top of that, they're saying, I cannot be under a man, whatever. I don't have to bring anything to the table. They're not exercising control on themselves. So they need that leadership. They need that guidance. But when they come into the man's world, they're talking a whole lot, but they're not doing a lot of the things that are required to bring about the peace. Thus, men are like, no, I cannot because it's not going to bring me peace. Because ultimately, we all want to have peace. Life is challenging. You go to work, and work is the biggest chunk of our lives. You go to work, you turn up, and you battle people that you don't get along with. Life and its trials and tribulations. Then you're going to have somebody who's going to bring chaotic energy, and you don't have peace. Why would you take on somebody to be a companion with you who is actually willingly telling you that they're not going to bring you some type of peace, or they're not going to equate that you're not going to exert any control or authority? When you don't have them, you're able to control the rhythm of your life.